What happens when the world's second most expensive piece of plastic shows up on your doorstep? Well, you test it against the world's first most expensive piece of plastic. Alright, here's how it's going to work. I'm going to take a sample. In this case, the first target's going to be that 3.5 gram nugget that I found at the end of my last video. I'm going to place it in the bottom of a hole and keep letting it go deeper until I no longer get a signal with the standard 17 by 11 monocoil. Next, I'm going to replace the 17 by 11 with the new Evolution coil, and then after that, I'll test it with the GPZ. And I'll put the settings on the screen for every coil and detector that I'm using so you can follow along. Alright, let's get started. Alright, I believe I've found the no signal point. You can hear some chatter, but a lot of that's just EMI. You can still hear it without the coil even moving. So I wouldn't call that a diggable signal by any means. Let's measure this. To the bottom of that, it's more or less probably 14.5 inches. I'll stick my coil in the hole just so you can hear that that target is there. It's just deep enough where I'm not detecting it at the surface. Alright, so we got it buried, brought the dirt back up to surface level, and let's just go ahead and check again and make sure that we're still not getting a diggable signal. There's just barely something there every now and then, but well, you'd have to be swinging just right at just the right angle to catch that as a target. So let's go ahead and put the Evolution on. Alright, we're back. We got the Evolution on now. Same settings. It's 15 gain, stabilizer at 10, and sensitive extra was giving me the deepest response. So seems to be in balance. Let's see what it sounds like. Yeah, so that's definitely an improved response. I guess the question is it enough improvement to account for the increase in area of this coil? One inch of coil diameter should give us about, I don't know, something like half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of added depth. But it seems like I'm getting more than that. Just a little bit, but yeah, with the coil probably an inch, inch and a half, maybe 2 inches above the ground, I was still getting, I guess, what I would consider a diggable signal. If you're swinging fast and patch hunting, maybe not. But if you're patch cleaning, and going slow, I don't know. It's a judgment call, I guess. There's some definite improvement though. Alright, we're going to try the GPZ now. Okay, we got the GPZ ground balance now. And we're in 15 sensitivity, gold mode is high yield, ground mode is normal, threshold level is 15, and audio smoothing is on low. And the reason I got it on low is because there's a lot of EMI around here. I don't know if you can hear this or not. I'll let you take a listen. This is without even moving the coil. When I put it on no smoothing, it's just one constant wee-oo, 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 wee-oo. So anyways, let's go ahead and it's a definite signal. And at about 1.5 inches above the ground, I'm honestly, it's a little bit better than with that Evolution on, but I would definitely say that's better. But I'll leave it up to you to make the judgment call. To me, it's close, but I think the GPZ is a little bit better. Okay, let's go ahead and try something smaller next. Actually, it occurs to me I should probably go ahead and try cranking this all the way up. Let's go to 20 sensitivity. Stay in high yield, stay in normal, because my 45 was basically cranked all the way up, other than the stabilizer, which I just can't. I can't run the stabilizer too high out here because there's so much EMI. All right, we'll go ahead and turn the threshold up to. I'll keep turning it up. There, it's pretty noisy there now. That's at 25. And then we'll turn audio smoothing off. So, as you can hear, it's just kind of a constant whine. But we're going to gain some depth out of this. Or we should. I think it actually sounds better with the lower threshold and smoothing on low. But it's still a signal, it's still there. Let's go ahead and turn smoothing back to low. Turn the threshold back down to 15. And we'll keep the gain at 20, or the sensitivity at 20. Yeah, so I don't know. Again, it's a judgment call. I probably got another maybe a ½ inch of depth out of that, turning the smoothing off and turning the threshold up. Alright, next up we have a 1 gram nugget that I found with the GPZ. This didn't come out of my patches, but it did come out of a fairly hammered area. And it's kind of typical. It's flat, but it does have a lot of pyrite casts in it. Little cubic structures inside of it. So we'll see how all the coils and the GPZ do on this one. Not really getting any kind of repeatable signal there. Let's test, make sure we can't hear it. Pretty much just ground noise and EMI. It's right here. Not getting anything out of it. Okay, let's test the Evolution. Okay, same settings. And it's just barely there. it is there if you're going slow enough. It wasn't there at all with the 17 by 11, but I think if you're in a patch and you're going real slow, oh, there we go, that's even better. Yeah, that's a signal there. Okay, we'll try the GPZ next. Okay, we got her settled down a little bit here now. Let's take it back to, still in 20. Let's make it a little bit more stable. Take it back to 18. And everything else the same. 15 threshold, low smoothing, high yield, normal ground. That's a definite signal. That would probably grab me even if I was just prospecting. But again, it's close. It's close, but I think it's better. Alright, let's try something really small next. Alright, this time, focus. This time we're going to try something really small. This is a 1 grain nugget. 1 grain. And I found this with the GPZ, also in one of my previous videos. So let's go ahead and see how the Evolution and the 17 by 11 perform on this. Okay, it's about 2 inches, maybe slightly over 2 inches down. It's right here. So, no signal. Alright, here we have the Evolution on the one grainer. Seems to be picking it up better going this way. Oops. Maybe not. Anyways, it's there, but that's an iffy signal. If you were just prospecting, let me put it this way, if I was just prospecting, I wouldn't stop and dig that. It's too much, it sounds too much like ground noise to me. But if you're going real slow, moving your coil over in different directions, coming at it from different directions, low and slow, you'd probably dig it. You know, if you're patch cleaning, you'd dig it. If you're patch hunting, you wouldn't. That's the way I look at that one. Let's try the GPZ last. Alright. No question on the GPZ, even half an inch above the ground there, or even over an inch above the ground. Still a pretty good diggable target, moving the coil fast. It stopped me. Got an ATV coming. So conclusions. I don't know, what are the conclusions? At this point, I'm not sure if the Evolution has enough gain over the 17 by 11 to account for more than just the larger surface area of the coil. Although, if I were to guess, I would say yes, it does. But it's slight. Really what needs to be done is someone needs to compare that Evolution to a 16-inch round coil. And I think they might find that 16 in some cases beats the Evolution. But that's just my guess. On the other hand, the GPZ is incrementally better than the Evolution in all the tests. But is it worth $10,000? Is it $10,000 better? I don't know. It really depends on your hunting style. And again, it comes down to the type of gold that you're finding. If I was in Nevada or any place where I was finding crystalline gold, or gold that's really finely distributed throughout the specimen, there's no question in my mind that GPZ is the best tool. And it would be, if you were on a really good patch of crystalline gold, it probably would be worth the $10,000. But for general hunting, I don't know. When I go out and prospect, I'm going to be using that Evolution coil, and that's all I can say. I'm trading it for the 17x11. It is heavier, but after swinging the GPZ for a while, I haven't really noticed the weight of the coil so much. So I guess draw your own conclusions. And if anyone has suggestions or thinks that I screwed the tests up or whatever, comment on the video. And if you have a different test that you'd like me to perform, then I might consider it. One thing that I wanted to add is the reason I'm going to be using this Evolution over a 17x11 or a 16-inch round is just the geometry is so much more convenient. You can go under bushes and around and through rocky washes so much easier with this type of coil than with a big 16-inch round coil. So even if they do end up being equal, which I can test because I do have a Nugget Finder 16-inch round, but it's 1,200 miles away right now. So later this year I can test it. But that being said, I'm still going to use this Evolution just because it is more sensitive than this 17x11, if only by a hair. But it's basically a 17x11. It's maneuverable. You can use this in a lot of places you can't use a 16-inch round, and to me that's an advantage as long as you can get similar depths. Okay guys, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.